Well, hey now, everybody. It's the Rob from 106.1 KISS FM here with my tag team partner in podcasting. Please welcome to the show the wonderful, the glorious, the charming one, Jerry Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
Glorious! Good morning!
I don't know. Something's wrong with the video. I don't know what the problem is.
It looks fine on my end.
I don't know why it's been so weird. Every time it's been screwing up. It hasn't been my fault, but
what do you see?
I see you frozen on my end, and whenever I click on you to because I remember I'm always directing the show too, it doesn't go to you. I don't know why. I might just have to keep it locked on me, but I hate that because I'm the ugly one on the show for sure.
That's a bunch of baloney. You're a good-looking fella.
Dude, back when we worked together in 2005, you could say it was debatable, but nowadays it's not.
Yeah, it is though. It's still debatable. I'm a mess. I'm a wreck.
I don't know what people are saying. Oh, Steve's saying the video's good.
It looks good on my end, man. I'm telling you. Your computer's being fudgy. We'll muscle through it.
All right, thanks, Steve. All right, well then I'll keep trying my best to make this happen, and I'll just keep going then.
Steve, the MVP. He was the MVP earlier today. He's the first person that shared that new Marvel Comic Universe Infinity Wars spoiler trailer thing, and that made my day, man. That made me happy.
How come I don't care about this?
Did you watch all the movies?
Maybe. There's a lot.
Did you read the comics?
I read X-Men once in a while.
See, that's why. And that's why. I mean, I love the Marvel Comic Universe.
You're not reading comic books, though.
I did. I used to, and my son now does. He's got some of my old ones and stuff. So, yeah, I was a comic book nerd from way back.
Who are the heroes in this movie?
Although, I mean, there are 30 of them. It's crazy. You've got all the Avengers.
This is my problem with the Avengers. It's too many. I want one at a time, or,
all of the movies, though, it's all coming to a head on this. Like, it's all been leading to Thanos showing up for the Infinity Stones. Like, here we are.
To who?
And now you've got Spider-Man, and you've got Doctor Strange working together with Thor and the Hulk and Iron Man, and Captain America's going to be out of prison or whatever, and now Guardians of the Galaxy are finally going to merge, and, like, it's all zipping and zapping, man. If you've been watching them, this will matter. But if you haven't been following it, then you don't care. I'm just telling you, like, I am fired up.
I love Marvel movies. Once they became every other weekend a new one came out, I kind of started to get bored. Like, I guess around Ant-Man and what did we see? Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, they can't all be singers, and Doctor Strange wasn't. Doctor Strange is the one that my son hasn't even watched because he kept finding it really boring. And I thought that Doctor Strange, the 15 minutes he was involved with the new Thor movie, was way better a representation of how cool Doctor Strange is than the entire Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, I don't know. Once they became every other weekend kind of thing, I kind of bailed, I guess. I love the Superman. I'm sorry, not Superman. Those movies suck. I love the Spider-Man movies, the Batman movies. I know aren't Marvel, but they're the best superhero movies that they make. The first Thor was good. The second Thor was not good. I didn't see the third. I like the Captain America stuff and Iron Man stuff just fine. But once you get them all together, I don't care about Avengers. And I wasn't a big fan of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, I think, are so funny. And I think that's why the new Thor was so good.
I didn't dislike Guardians of the Galaxy. I just didn't love it.
And as far as the Batman movies, you can say the Batman movies were the best superhero movies. The new Batman movies that they're making, I think, are garbage. I don't like the new Justice League. I don't like Batman
movies. Listen, the Batman ones that are the best are the Beyond trilogy. The Batman, well, The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises are the number 1 and 2. Batman Begins is number 3. And then you got the Michael Keaton one, followed by the one with Danny DeVito, Returns.
But then what's the debate with the villains? You and I both agree that the Joker is the best superhero villain.
Yeah, and without a doubt.
And Batman has the best villains, right?
Yeah, to me it's not even close, but I know Steve would say it's Spider-Man.
Come on.
That's the wrong answer. I know.
Come on. I mean, Dr. Octopus? Okay, maybe. Sandman? Be serious.
I know. When you got Batman villains, this will get to be a wrestling podcast momentarily. But you've got the Joker, you've got the Scarecrow, you've got Bane, you've got the Croc,
the Penguin,
the Riddler. My God, I mean, it's just like it doesn't end.
It doesn't end. And you know what? As far as us doing a wrestling podcast, I'm looking at you, SmackDown. I'm looking. Make us want to talk about you first. You know
what? This superhero conversation's on you, WWE.
Your fault. Listen, we both talked about it a little bit this morning, and what I said to you was, I think SmackDown beats Raw for the week. It was the better show, but that's like saying that the poop I took this morning smells better than the poop I took last night.
No, I'll tell you this. If the poop you took this morning was 1/3 shorter than the poop you took last night, then yeah, that makes total sense, because the only reason SmackDown was better than Raw this week is because there's less of it. That's the only reason it's better.
I agree with a lot of that, although you know me, and you know that I loved the main event last night. Even if it had Randy Orton in it, it was still enjoyable to watch, and I enjoyed that match immensely.
That match is interesting to me because they have what I believe is real heat. They don't like each other.
I feel the same way. And maybe it's work heat, but they blast each other on Twitter all the time. They genuinely seem like they don't like each other.
Yeah, I don't think that it's like a blood hatred like Brett and Shawn, or that, like, you know, I wouldn't say hatred's the right word, but I don't think they like each other. Their Twitter exchange when they were in Europe, or when Randy was in Europe, I should say, was amazing.
So funny. And he had some good lines on Owens, but you can't hang with Kevin Owens.
No, you can try, but you're right. You can't.
You can't hang with Kevin Owens. And I thought that, and maybe it is just a work, but they sure did seem snug last night, didn't they?
Yeah, but you know what? It wasn't in a bad kind of. I don't think anyone took advantage.
No, nobody was taking liberties, but they definitely work a little stiffer with each other, and I like it. You know, they still. It's one of those situations where it's like Brett and Shawn in the regard that if they don't like each other, it doesn't affect the quality of the match.
I think that's kind of a weird rule of thumb for wrestling. I think that there's a good level of competitiveness that brings out the best in each other.
Unless you're JBL, and then you just potato somebody until they submit in the middle of the ring.
Or you bully a commentator until he quits his job.
Yeah. And then they bring them back and you mysteriously quit yours.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, there was one, I mean, to me, the takeaway from SmackDown wasn't even the main event, which was fine. Again, for 2 weeks in a row on both shows, the thing that I take away from the show, what the show left me with, is the new women. And don't ask me for their names. I can just call them the Riot Squad. But holy cow! So Mike,
I can give their names because I'm looking at them. But yeah, the Riot Squad.
You got Ruby Riot.
Yep.
You got the blonde one.
The pretty one, Liv Morgan.
You know what? I wanted to mention that for a second because I find myself oddly compelled by the third one.
The third one looks like the hot younger sister of Stephanie McMahon.
Dude, I can totally see that.
Yeah.
But I was worried I was going to be on an island here. I admit, it's kind of like that Asuka thing where, like, I don't think most people would find Asuka hot, but you and I were talking. It's like, you know what? I'd quietly give it to her.
I'd gladly give it to her. I just wouldn't talk about it when I was done.
That's quietly. I'm just saying. I'm saying the same thing about this other one. Like, I bet you, like, if we were all at a party, there's, you know, those three girls are there. Most people are looking at the blonde one. What's her name?
Liv Morgan.
Yeah, I should remember that because her name's all over her boobs.
Yeah.
It's a smart marketing gimmick. And then who's the third one?
Sarah Logan is the one that you find oddly attractive, and Ruby Riott is the one that I would throw out of the house.
Yeah. So, what's her name? Sarah?
Sarah Logan. Boy, you really can't. You just can't retain their names. There's too many of them.
It's too many at once is the problem. So Sarah, yeah, I don't know. And then she opens her mouth and disaster struck. Or when she opens her mouth, it'd be like Bruce and Conrad saying, and then the bell rang.
And then the bell rang. And then they gave her a mic.
So,
what do you think? You were talking about rumors, all the women and stuff. Are you liking it? Are you afraid that they're actually going to go through with this Women's Royal Rumble? I never heard about it until you guys were talking about it yesterday.
Yeah, I'm hearing about a Women's Royal Rumble. I'm hearing about a Women's Elimination Chamber.
Would it be a Women's Royal Rumble in lieu of a Men's Royal Rumble? Because that would be, I would riot.
No, in addition.
Okay.
And it's just, it's not my speed. I like what has been going on with the women in general. Lately, it's been tough. But when the last batch got called up, talking about Banks, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, things really changed. And women got a lot more positive attention for more than just their cleavage in wrestling, and that's been fantastic.
And they do put on better matches. You know, it's more than hair pulling now, and
but now
flips.
I don't like when we crowbarred them into a cell. Didn't like it. Crowbarring them into a Rumble, not a fan. And I'm definitely opposed to throwing them into a chamber. I don't like any of this.
The Hell in the Cell match was a good match. I just didn't like the fact that they crowbarred it in, and they made it because it was historic. And you're doing. I don't like doing stipulations for the sake of doing stipulations. When a stipulation match, like an Elimination Chamber or Hell in the Cell before it became its own pay-per-view, when it was used the best is when there's no other option. When like we have done everything, we've beaten each other from pillar to post, and it's time, and this has to be it. And this is going to settle it. This is our death match. This is it. And then you go for the big stipulation match. Then you go for the ladder match. Then it means so much more. So much more when you do it that way. And if they build the women into a reason why they need to be in a cage, I'm all about it. But to just say, it's history. So let's do that. I don't like it either.
Amen.
Make it a blood feud. Give me a blood feud that doesn't involve 8 women at once.
Don't just
have one-on-one. There hasn't been a one-on-one forever.
Don't just schedule a Hell in the Cell because the calendar tells you to. Let the feud tell you when the Hell in the Cell happens.
Exactly.
What else from? I did like that they went over really hard. Those 3 girls went over really. The Riot Squad went over really hard last night. That was my favorite part of the show. Even though they're not great. You know, Mike's kind of our go-to guy when it comes to the NXT and independent stuff. And his kind of synopsis is that they're not bad, but they're not ready yet. And that's kind of
that by looking at it.
That's kind of the vibe I got from these girls.
I think both rosters, because they split them, both rosters need more girls, so that's okay.
So
I made a note. Looks like Trouble in Paradise for old Dano and Shano.
What do you mean?
I feel like they're just setting the stage for future tension between Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon.
You know, Daniel Bryan's a little bit optimistic about his percentages of being able to wrestle in WWE again. He puts it at like a 20% chance that he'll be able to wrestle again.
That's not a good chance.
No, but I actually think it might even be higher than that. His concussion tests are coming back as really positive, and apparently he's more healthy as far as stress tests go and concussion tests than most people his age. And
it might have been the shirt he was wearing last night, which is different than the usual flannel, but he looks like he's in better shape now, too. Like he's really starting to get ready for it.
Well, he's going to tell you he'll wrestle again. It's just a matter of if WWE is going to let him do it or not.
Yeah.
So, you know, I had 2 non-SmackDown things. I don't know how much more SmackDown you want to cover, but God, what was there this week?
Well, I have one more thing, but see what you have.
No, what do you have?
We haven't talked about the Bludgeon Brothers yet. The Bludgeon Brothers made their debut when we were taking a break, and then last night. And what do you say? I'll say this about the Bludgeon Brothers. This is all I have to say about it. I can't wait for them to break up because Luke Harper looks amazing. And I think that if they were smart, they could make him into a star.
I think the Bludgeon Brothers are laughable. I think that it's doomed to fail. I think that this is 80s wrestling at its best or worst, however you want to look at it. What is that?
Do you agree or disagree with my Luke Harper assessment?
I don't think either one of them are going on to do anything. I don't, you know, I
think
they're
he could. I think he could.
They both could. They just won't.
They just won't.
I'm not saying it's their fault or WWE's fault or a combination of both. I just feel like I've been down this road so many times with wrestlers that I just know this is not going to do anything.
And speaking with the laughably cartoonish tag division that is SmackDown, what did you think of the Fashion Files? Sod.
It's on par with the other ones. I kind of enjoyed that it was different. It was refreshing in that respect, but it wasn't that funny or good.
I hope that was officially killing off Ascension so they can come back retooled.
It was kind of funny that they left them there when they could have saved them.
That was the only part that really made me laugh, when they were like, we would do that for our best friends. And they're like, we're not friends. We're not friends.
Or I liked, there's a subtle thing like you had to destroy what you love most, which wound up being the horse. But Tyler Breeze started attacking Fandango's abs because he loves his abs the most.
Because he loves them the most.
So that was that. Anything else from SmackDown?
Not really. I mean, not really. I'm glad they put Kevin Owens with Randy Orton, I guess, because they got to put Randy Orton somewhere, and I'm actually enjoying the feud.
So I wanted to ask you, I wanted to do this yesterday, but I forgot. I want a letter grade for Survivor Series.
That'd be tough. I'm afraid I'm suffering from euphoric recall with Survivor Series. I feel like it was a B, but you could remind me of enough to make it a C.
Oh yeah, we're coming from different places here.
Listen, I thought that, but I think I was just in a mood that weekend to love wrestling. Like the NXT War Games, I love that show. I loved it, and that War Games main event could have been a. I don't put NXT or indie stuff as my posties. I just won't. I don't know enough about it, and so you're not going to see Omega in my list. But if I were to add NXT, that was a match of the year contender for me. That was really awesome. That War Games match. That was great. So I was in the mood. I was fired up, and I watched it the day of Survivor Series. I was like, yeah, okay, great. Then I watched Survivor Series. AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar had what I thought was a match of the year candidate. That was good. I didn't like the men's Survivor thing, but I remember the Shield versus New Day I really liked. I don't know. Like I said, you have to remind me of some of the things that happened, and you could probably talk me down.
Yeah, okay. I was going from like a D+ point of view, but could maybe be talked up to a C-.
Okay.
Listen, Brock and AJ was great. Not match of the year great, but really good. And you know, I was even, it's funny because I would have told you Monday morning that something major happened in the last match, the men's Survivor Series match, but it hasn't even been addressed in the 2 weeks following it. So obviously it was pretty missable if you haven't brought it up in 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm talking about Triple H turning on Kurt.
Right. That's what my complaint was yesterday. It's like, what are you doing? He said, well, they're setting up Triple H and Angle, but they're not addressing it at all.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm coming from a D+, C- spot with Survivor Series. And then yesterday, I teased that I was going to tell people what I've been up to these last few weeks since I've been on vacation. I spent, I think you'll appreciate this. Well, for starters, let me show you. I'll take a item out of my bag here for a second. 1 second. Hold on.
There we go. He's going through his bag. He's got something. Looks like you've got something blue behind you and something red behind you, representing both brands.
It's got nothing to do with those. But I brought this back into my life after a 10-year absence.
I can't read that. I can't see it. Oh, the Wrestling Observer newsletter.
I subscribed to this from 2002
through about... Do they still mail old ones? Or do they still mail them?
Yeah, that's the way I do it. So in 2002, when I was taking a pro wrestling history course at Penn State, that was the required reading, but I loved it so much, I just kept subscribing up until about, so I'd say all of 2002 through all of 2007, I was an avid reader of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. And then I took a break because it's very expensive. It's a very expensive publication to get. It costs between $2 and $3 an issue, and it comes every week.
Okay. Yeah, that's more than Netflix.
Yeah, but I love it. And, you know, I was listening to Something to Wrestle with Bruce and Conrad.
They bang on that. Well, Conrad doesn't, but Bruce hates the Wrestling Observer.
But real wrestling fans, this is the Bible of wrestling, I feel like. And even though it's expensive, I signed up for 10 months of the damn thing again. So the Observer's back in my life. But what I thought was most interesting and just shows how flawed of a human I am or how odd I am, I also went back and found I spent an awful lot of money collecting old Observers. To pretty much, so I got like, boy, I should have counted how many I got, but I mean, I bought full years worth. I've got like all in 96, all in 97, half of 94, half of 95, almost all in 93.
And so you keep them cataloged, right? So you can easily go back and search.
So I spent hundreds just collecting old Observers this weekend from like online places.
That's pretty awesome. Are you going to go back and you're going to read them?
Yeah. So another thing that I've been doing is, remember how like around this time last year I was watching old Raws like in order?
And do me a favor for people that are like me, that I know of the Wrestling Observer, I know of its merit, I know Dave Metzger, Meltzer. I was talking to a guy named Fred Metzger earlier today. That's why his name's in my head. So, but I don't know what he puts in the Wrestling Observer. Is it just news, or does he review everything? How's he?
If you notice, whenever you read something on a news site, and I know that you don't read the news sites the way that a lot of post viewers do, the source is always the Wrestling Observer newsletter. And then where you're going to get a tidbit, a little paragraph about an article from WrestleZone or 411 or wherever you get your information from, you get this amazingly well-written review or review isn't the right word because he reviews a little bit, but he breaks news and like you learn so much about a topic when Meltzer covers it.
That's awesome.
You would like it because not only that, first of all, I know you are a big appreciator of MMA.
Yeah.
It's like just as much MMA as it is wrestling.
Oh, really? So he covers that now too.
It's always been that. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's when, that's since day one, he's been covering UFC and, I mean, MMA, Bellator, I mean, whatever it happens to be. But I mean, if you notice, it's like super small font. And this issue's 18 pages like this.
So it's a big read. There's a lot to read.
Correct. You get a bevy of information with the Wrestling Observer newsletter. And it's just like, if so...
Does it all bang on the WWE? It seems like a lot of people do.
No, not at all. And then when someone dies, I mean, you get their entire life story. Like he's published his pieces on people who die.
Okay.
And if someone goes into the Hall of Fame or someone retires, you just get this amazing career retrospective that is endless and just so well written. See, that's the thing is Meltzer is a writer, and that's what separates him. And he's obviously well informed. So I'm a big mark for the Observer. So I found all these old ones. I've got like boxes of them now in my office. But I'm also, like I said, I was this time around last year. In fact, I even was doing something at your house when I visited you, been watching those old Raws. I decided to
Because we were watching old Raws and then the pay-per-views that it led into,
right,
in chronological order, which led to us having to watch a terrible pay-per-view.
Yeah, but it was so bad it was good.
Yes.
It was one of the WCW ones from '93. It was like the Legends reunion.
Oh my God, the Legends show.
So I started doing it, but instead of starting at just Raw, I started with as old a WWE TV as I could find, and that's Tuesday Night Titans. So I'm started watching those. I finished
Tuesday Night Titans before prime time?
Yeah, Tuesday Night Titans starts in '84.
Okay.
So '84 leads into prime time. Prime time leads into Raw. Raw is going to lead into Nitro, which I'm going to slice in there. Stuff like that. So I watched the first 16.
You'll
episodes.
never catch up.
Maybe I will, maybe I won't.
But it'll be so fun to try. I mean, because right now, 84, how many pay-per-views a year do you have to deal with? 2?
0. WrestleMania 1 was 85.
Okay, so none, and then 85 is 1, and then you'll get 2. And 87, there's 2, right? There's Mania and Survivor Series.
Yeah, and then they had SummerSlam in '88. They had the Rumble in '89.
And then you've got 4 for a little while. But then eventually you're going to get into every 3 Raws. You're going to have to watch.
Yeah, but the end game isn't to catch up. Like the end game's just to get to like the Monday Night Wars.
Okay.
You know, so now of course.
Will you then, if you get to that point, hypothetically, will you start working in SmackDowns and Thunders?
Thunders aren't on the network, I don't think.
Oh.
SmackDowns are, and yes.
SmackDowns were really relevant for a while.
Oh, up until, boy, I'd say up until like 05, 06, SmackDowns were great. So that's what I've been up to. I thought people might appreciate that. I know it's not a big reveal, but...
No, I think it's fun, though. I think that's cool. So where are you right now? You're at 84. Where in 84?
December 4th. These TNTs, let me tell you, they're not short. They're 2 hours. They go about an hour 36 minutes on the network, and the only reprieve is they're mostly every other week instead of every week.
Is the production laughable or is it good?
It ranges from both. Like it's a good production, but some of the decisions they make are like really wacky. I mean, there was like a half hour straight on the last episode I watched that was set in like Rene Goulet's diner, which is just like the set of TNT still. They had a magician perform for like 30 straight minutes. They didn't even take a commercial break. I mean, it's ridiculous. Oh, and it's completely racist. I mean, anytime someone is feuding with a wrestler of color, they get compared to an animal on some level.
Oh my God. Who are the announcers for TNT? I really have never watched TNT.
TNT is not a wrestling show in that respect. It is a parody of The Tonight Show with Vince McMahon as Johnny Carson.
Oh, that's the TNT. Because I've seen so many clips of that.
And Alfred Hayes is Ed McMahon. And I mean, everything on there is wacky.
Yeah. 30 minutes of a magician. That's the best.
But it's like, you know, he's performing in front of, you know, Rene Goulet and Vince McMahon and Alfred Hayes and the spoiler who's wearing a mask in the, it's like, it's ridiculous. So yeah, I'm weird. It's gonna be put on hold again after Christmas, because after Christmas I'm gonna get like 10 new Blu-ray sets.
You're gonna get all kinds of Blu-ray sets. That also led into a revelation about me that you found very interesting yesterday.
Yeah, Jerry's never seen Beyond the Mat. I can't believe it.
I don't watch all the documentaries. There's so many.
It's not a WWE film though. It's made by a third party that had access.
I've heard of it.
We're going to watch it. I told you avoid it at all costs. I don't want you to watch that without me being there.
Well, I purposely avoided it with something to wrestle because I'd never seen it, so I didn't think I'd find it interesting.
Oh, it's a great movie. I saw it in the movie theater.
So I'm not going to watch it until I'm with you again, and then we'll watch it together.
Exactly.
Okay, deal.
All right, man. Thanks for being a part of the show today. Anything else you want to mention?
Merry Christmas. Still not December.
I think this is it this week. I think... why are we planning on doing our posties? We want to do them Monday?
I think Monday works for me.
I have to check our schedule.
I just need a list of all the categories. I forget them all.
I'll have to go through and watch an old one to get the list again. Well, I'm trying to pull it. There we go. We'll figure out our schedule. We don't know the schedule. I think we're done this week, though.
Yeah, we're done this week.
So tune in next week, either Monday or Tuesday. We'll have either the posties for you or a Raw review. This is what you get from us.
I'd rather do the posties because Raw sucks.
Well, we're going to review Raw either way, but hey, listen, this is what you get with us.
What you get.
And I don't know if the video is failing on your end, but it's hit the bricks.
Big time. It's just flashing on and off.
I'm trying my hardest here, guys.
It's like a strobe light.
We'll see you tomorrow.